You just hit $50,000 in savings. And right now, you're sitting in a position that 86% of Americans will never reach. The median bank account balance in this country is $8,000. You have more than 6 times that. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. If you leave that $50,000 sitting in a regular savings account earning 0.4% interest, inflation will quietly eat it alive. Every single year, your money loses purchasing power. You didn't grind this hard just to go backwards. So let's talk about exactly what to do now, step by step, to turn that $50,000 into real, lasting wealth. The very first thing you need to do is something that isn't exciting at all, but it's the foundation that everything else is built on. You need a fully funded emergency fund. That means 3 to 6 months of your actual living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, separate from everything else. Right now, in 2026, the best high-yield savings accounts are paying between 4% and 5% APY. That means if you park $15,000 in one of these accounts, you're earning $600 to $750 a year just for having your safety net in place. That's not life-changing money, but it's the difference between being financially secure and being one car accident away from a credit card spiral. And here's why this matters more than people realize. According to a recent survey, 43% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency. When something breaks, they reach for a credit card and dig the hole deeper. Your emergency fund makes sure that's never you again. If you already have your emergency fund covered, great. You're ahead of the game. If not, that comes first. No negotiation. Now, once your safety net is solid, the next move depends on one question. Do you have high-interest debt? I'm talking credit cards at 20%, 24%, even 28% APR, personal loans at 12% or higher. If you owe money at rates above 6 to 7%, paying that off is the single best investment you can make. Because paying off a credit card at 24% interest is the same as earning a guaranteed 24% return. So take a chunk of that $50,000 and eliminate every dollar of high-interest debt you have. The weight that lifts off your chest is worth more than any dividend check. Once your emergency fund is in place and your high-interest debt is gone, now we get to the part that actually builds wealth. And the simplest, most proven path for most people is this: open a Roth IRA and max it out. In 2026, the contribution limit is $7,500 if you're under 50. If you're 50 or older, you can put in up to $8,600. The beauty of a Roth IRA is that your money grows completely tax-free. You pay taxes on the money going in, but every dollar of growth, every dollar of profit, comes out tax-free in retirement. If you're 30 years old and you max out a Roth IRA every year for the next 30 years, investing in a simple S&P 500 index fund, averaging 10% a year, you'd end up with over $1.2 million. That's the power of starting now with money you've already saved. After your Roth IRA is maxed, the next move is to open a regular brokerage account and start investing the rest. And I want to keep this simple, because simple works. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund gives you instant ownership in the 500 biggest companies in America. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, JP Morgan. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to watch the market every day. You buy consistently, you hold for years, and you let compound interest do what it does best. If you invested $20,000 into an S&P 500 index fund today and added just $500 a month for the next 20 years at a 10% average annual return, you'd be looking at over $500,000 from a single decision you make right now. Now, if your job offers a 401k with an employer match, make sure you're contributing at least enough to get every dollar of that match. In 2026, the 401k contribution limit is $24,500, and employer match is free money. If your company matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary, and you're not taking it, you are literally turning down a raise. And the earlier you start capturing that match, the more time compound growth has to multiply it. Someone who starts taking their full match at 25 versus 35 could end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars more by retirement. That gap never closes. Here's something else that most people overlook at the $50,000 mark. You should seriously consider investing in yourself. Not in some vague, motivational way. I mean strategically. A $2,000 online certification could increase your salary by $10,000 a year. A $500 course on a high-income skill like copywriting, data analysis, or project management could open doors that stay closed otherwise. The return on investment for the right education isn't 10%, it's 500%, 1,000%, or more. When you have $50,000 in savings, you have the breathing room to make moves like this without putting yourself at financial risk. Let me also say this clearly. Do not let that $50,000 sit in a regular checking account. Do not blow it on a car you can't afford. Do not loan it to your cousin who's definitely going to pay you back. This money represents hundreds of hours of your life. Treat it that way. Every dollar you deploy wisely right now is a soldier that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your life. So let's recap the exact order. Step 1. Secure your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Step 2. Destroy any high-interest debt. Step 3. Max out your Roth IRA. Step 4. Invest the rest in low-cost index funds through a brokerage account. Step 5. Make sure you're capturing your full employer 401k match. And Step 6. Invest in yourself and your earning power. You don't need to do all 6 at once. Start at Step 1 and work your way through. The point is that you now have options that most people don't, and options are the real definition of wealth. If this helped you see your $50,000 differently, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.